AML Microlearning series. Today we thought we'd switch things up and have a coffee with our special guest, Brent Sergeant.
Steve, really excited for you to be here today and talk cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency investigations, because you used to work for a large Canadian financial institution doing money laundering investigations, and now you're working for a top 5 cryptocurrency exchange doing AML investigations. So thanks so much for being here. The first question I think that comes to my mind is, how do your investigations differ, or how are they similar to what you used to do at a big bank?
Well, working for Bitfinex, a big trading platform and exchange for cryptocurrency, a lot of it changes from traditional banking institutions. We all know that in traditional institutions, you do reviews from 5-6 months before. We're doing a lot of real-time investigations, which means the transactions are happening in real time. We're able to investigate that before we actually process a lot of the transactions.
And you talk about real-time investigations. You've got millions of transactions flowing through Bitfinex. How do you know where to concentrate your efforts?
Well, a lot of our escalations are internally escalated through onboarding issues or customer service inquiries. We also get a lot of law enforcement requests. We saw in the recent child exploitation case where they were able to identify a service provider that was accepting cryptocurrency for child exploitation, where the law enforcement is able to actually contact the checkpoints or exchanges that might have had any kind of transactions with that illicit service provider and subpoena them and gain information.
Stephen, you talked about some of the traditional banking, and certainly we've seen that move away from welcoming customers at a branch, meeting them face-to-face, and move more towards online transactions. How do you deal from the crypto side with meeting clients non-face-to-face?
Well, our onboarding process is not going to be face-to-face whatsoever, so we have to have a little bit more attention to detail and have a keen eye for certain information. We also use analytical tools that can also identify if an image or documentation has been modified and altered in any way. We also have certain jurisdictions or trends where you'll see certain documentation that is forged in certain jurisdictions, and we usually keep up with that information.
And you talk trending, which I think is what every AML investigator needs to understand, and you talked about higher risk jurisdictions and understanding where the flow of information comes from. Do you have any tools to help you do that?
Well, most exchanges or crypto companies are going to use blockchain and intelligence tools. So you'll see Chainalysis and CipherTrace, and what those companies do is they identify illicit service providers that are using cryptocurrency. So exchanges and law enforcement can see any kind of transactions that are being made. Specifically, if a criminal is trying to offload stolen cryptocurrency and get fiat funds, they'll usually go to a large exchange like ours in order to do that, and that is where we can provide information, useful information, to law enforcement, especially IP addresses and what kind of browser they're using, which is important for cyber crimes.
You mentioned law enforcement in there, and you also mentioned the child exploitation case recently. So tell us a little bit more about that and what tools were used there and how it came about.
So Welcome to Video was a child exploitation service provider where they were actually accepting cryptocurrency in exchange for videos. Once that was categorized, I believe, by Chainalysis, they were able to label that as a child exploitation site. Law enforcement can now just press a click of a button. They can see every exchange or every service provider that had any kind of connection to that website, and they're able to query us for KYC information, which also leads to charges about who's operating the site, but also goes after some of the nefarious actors that are using that site for their own personal needs.
It's almost like you have the ability to trace the serial number of the money.
Yeah, just imagine working for a financial institution, someone brings in cash, and the teller can scan the barcode and see where that cash was being used at, whether it was a local grocery store, whether it was used in a major drug or drug trafficking case. We can similarly do that with cryptocurrency. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what if they use privacy coins? But similar to a large bag of cash at a financial institution that will raise concerns, using privacy coins like Monero is going to already spark a little bit of curiosity from an exchange, and most criminals don't want that kind of scrutiny when they're trying to launder millions of dollars.
This has been so interesting. So I think we could keep going, but we've run out of time. So thanks so much for joining today, Stephen.
I appreciate it. And if this appeals to any investigators or professionals, they can actually go online. There's a ton of open source research about cryptocurrency and its impact on compliance, and they can go down the rabbit hole per se and learn more about it.
And if you have any other topics you'd like to see discussed on our show, we're always interested to hear. So please reach out in the comments below or at our contact info.
And as always, if you've missed any of our previous episodes, you can find them on YouTube by searching for AML Microlearning Series.
I'm Jennifer Ford Smith.
I'm Dwayne King.
And I'm Brent Sergeant.
Thanks so much for watching.